Hi guys, I'm here in Birmingham at the O2 Institute with Brad and Curtis from High Valley. It's great to meet you guys.
Good to meet you.
Welcome to the UK again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great.
We're loving it.
Good stuff. And you've played Manchester and Glasgow so far. I know you described it on Twitter as intense last night.
Yeah, it was. Well, somebody took a picture of us, and it looked like we were about to kill each other. So I said,
But we were happy.
We were actually really happy.
It was a very good intense.
Yeah.
How have the crowds been so far?
Amazing.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's so good.
You can tell people are doing their research there and, singing along to all the songs and just ready to have a good time. So we love hearing that.
Good stuff. And you played at Country to Country Festival last year, which is just around the corner again now. So
Yeah.
tell us about that whole experience.
Well, I mean, that's what set us up for this tour, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody had any idea who we were until we played that, and we didn't have any idea how amazing the country fans in the UK were until we came out and played that. So now, when they announced that we'd come back and do our own headlining tour, we were very thrilled about it, and thankfully it happened.
That's awesome. It's been a pretty amazing year since then, hasn't it, for you guys? I mean, Rolling Stone named you as one of the top 10 new country artists, but isn't that quite strange for you guys? Because you're not exactly new, are you?
We're getting really good at being new. First we were new in Canada, then we were new in the US, now we're new in the UK. And
We're pretty experienced when it comes to being brand new.
yeah, so it's been fun. And anytime Rolling Stone or Billboard or any huge publication like that names you somebody that they're keeping watch on, that's a really good thing.
It's great recognition, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So take us right back to the beginning now. So where did you get your country influences from? Was it mum and dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We've got 3 older sisters as well, and they were really into country music. We grew up on a farm, 1,400 acres. I mean, we were 20 miles from the nearest town and, down a bunch of gravel roads, and we were surrounded by country, so it just made a lot of sense.
Our little town, like out here, every hour or so you get to another city. Where we're from, it took 8 hours to get to the first city.
Wow.
And that was the nearest airport.
Yeah.
So it would be like if you drove 8 hours from here and you never saw anybody for 8 hours. That's how country. Yeah, definitely.
So who was the Ricky Skaggs fan in the family? Because I know you.
Everybody.
Yeah.
He was the main guy in our house.
We had heard of a couple other superstars, but I mean, he was, in our opinion, the biggest superstar in the world, and we honestly didn't know any better. We thought he was.
Yeah, we didn't have radio or TV. In our town, you could turn on the radio, but because it was so many hundreds of miles away, you couldn't receive the radio signal. So we never knew who Michael Jackson was until we moved to Nashville. So we never heard of a bunch of famous artists.
And Ricky's played quite a significant part in your career, hasn't he, really? Getting the off-proof performance.
Yeah, and if you listen to the YouTube video of Make You Mine, that's Ricky Skaggs singing the second verse. So he joined us for the single, which is pretty great.
Yeah, and you released your first album, Broken Borders, in 2007, and obviously that did quite well. You won Country Album of the Year at the Canadian Country Awards. Now, to me, that sounds like instant success, but I'm sure it wasn't quite that easy, was it?
No, we made our first album, our family did, in 1988.
Wow.
It was a little gospel cassette with some good old kind of bluegrass country gospel songs. And so we've been doing this for a long, long time, but this last year has kind of been the year that people started noticing us on, different radio stations, TV, Spotify, all that kind of stuff, and we'll just take whatever we can get. Each year is always better than the last one.
Yeah, and since that album in 2007, you did 3 albums when you were signed with Open Road, and then obviously signed with Warner Nashville. So how did that deal come about?
Well, I think it started happening when we quit looking for a deal, honestly. We were looking for a deal for the longest time. And
we had a conversation. We were like, maybe we're just not going to sign a deal, and that's fine. We'll just keep doing what we're doing, and it's good, and it's great, and we're just going to keep going along. And then the next thing you knew, we had an offer on the table, and things started changing. Yeah,
we had, for the moment, in between when we had no record company, we did a record called County Line. And we had nobody really involved in our career, so we sent all our demos to our fan club. And then our fan club voted on their favorite 10 songs, and that's what made the album. And their 2 favorite songs were Make You Mine and She's With Me. So it's pretty cool that the first single got to be something that the fans selected.
Yeah, you recorded Make You Mine twice, haven't you? You've done 2 separate recordings. So
well, honestly, the version you hear with Warner Brothers is the same original version. The only difference is Ricky Skaggs was in the original, and he's not in the.
Ricky Skaggs is in the YouTube version. It's just us on the album.
Now we just did the German version. Did
We
you hear
just
about
did a
that?
German version.
Yeah,
It's
so-
not released yet, but we're excited about it.
We got the master yesterday, and I believe it's releasing this weekend. So
Wow, that should be
that'll be
interesting.
pretty neat. Yeah.
Did you know for a while that could be potentially a massive song, Make Your Mind? Did you always have kind of an inkling that could be the one?
We had a really good feeling the day I wrote the song with our producer Seth and my buddy Ben. We had a really good feeling about it. Curtis loved it the first time he heard it.
My wife, first time she heard it, she said, "This is going to be your first #1." She just said, "I know it.
You
It
gotta
hasn't
listen to
happened yet, but
It's
we'll
on its
see."
way. It's climbing. Yeah,
Perfect lead single for the new album, wasn't it?
it sure
Yeah.
was. It says it really gives you a good idea of who High Valley is in one song.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us about the new album, Dear Life, because do you feel it's a progression for you guys as artists from the earlier albums?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think you always want to be growing. You never want to stay, the same. What we sing about is always, faith and family and farming and that kind of stuff. But stylistically, this still has all the bluegrass elements in it, but it's a little. I think it's easier to get stuck in your head than any of our albums ever have been.
Now, I saw you guys at Country to Country last year at the Brooklyn Bowl, and you always put on a really high energy show. So is
Yeah.
that something you always look towards when you're making an album?
Yeah.
You always kind of got one eye on the live show.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is definitely to. One of our goals is to have as much fun as possible, and for ourselves. And our other goal is for other people to have as much fun as possible when they're listening to our music, whether it's in their car or at a show. We want to bring energy wherever we can because it's just fun.
Yeah.
And what's in store for the rest of 2017 for you guys?
A lot. We're doing the Tim McGraw Faith Hill tour. We've got a few dates on that, and then we have a mini tour with Toby Keith as well. And you add that to a bunch of festivals, it's going to be a very, very busy year. We were just talking on the drive up here today. I said, I think our next break is in the back half of October, so it's going to be a busy
It's
year.
a pretty crazy year.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the tour around
Thank
Europe,
you.
and thank you for joining us.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Nice one. Signing out from Birmingham.